Morning, folks. It's a Friday morning. Got a soap here from Cherry City Shave. I have to be really careful when I mention this one. Oh, by the way, it's 1859 is the name of the soap. I There's a street here that is referred to as Cherry Street, so I have a tendency to say that as opposed to Cherry City. And so anyway, this is the soap that I'm using today. It's a very manly scent. In other words, think of whiskey, tobacco, gunpowder, those, that kind of scent. I've got a little bit of description down below, as well as a link to the website if you're interested in checking it out. It is a very soft soap. It comes you get 3 ounces of the soap, so it comes in. Yes, it is a small container. So if you're kind of tight on room, this may be a good place to go check out some of their soaps that's smaller containers, makes it easier for storage. And decide to go ahead and follow up with one of my favorite aftershaves you can get usually in Walmart or Target. Stetson. I like this one here. It works well for my nose. It's a manly scent. It may not be for everybody. Excuse me. I got it whipped up here in a smooth bottom bowl. It has a little bit, of course, the beige tint to it. And I got it whipped up here with, get it turned around here. This is a Simpson brush. It's got a badger knot in it. And the name of this one here is Berkeley. I've got a link down below, and there's to Pester's website. They've got a good selection of Simpson brushes. And this particular handle, I think, comes with maybe 2 different kind of knots in it. If you're familiar with Simpsons, in other words, there's, I guess you might say, different grades of badger. And there's that side here also. This brush came to me, by the way, as Stephen Sprague. He sent it to me. It's a pretty nice brush. This scent, it is just awesome. I really do like it. It fits my nose quite well. And shaver of the day. The blade is a Personna. This one here is a PAL Injectomatic. It's a non-adjustable injector, and it's got a Personna, like I say, Personna blade in there. And you can kind of see the shape. These, if you watched on eBay, and if you've been looking for a razor that maybe, in other words, it's not a Gillette, and maybe not even as popular as some of the Schick razors, in other words, a little lesser popular, if you will, or known. This particular razor seems to go in cycles, especially like on eBay, where sometimes you find a whole bunch of them, and then at times you won't find any, or you may only find one. At the time when I looked it up, I did find one. I got a link down below. It comes with a case and whatnot. It varies in prices. In other words, you can pick one of these up right around the $25 mark without a case, and then with a case it's 50, 60. It just keeps on going up. Depends on the shape of everything, originality, if you will. But I find that these usually are in pretty good shape. In other words, they look an awful lot like this as it goes for condition. Not very many of them will show up, how can you say, beat up and got a lot of corrosion on them. You do see them from time to time, but most of them look pretty good. In other words, they look like they were taken care of, or maybe more resistant to corrosion. Just throwing that out there. But at any rate, this is a this particular razor. It's just one that I like. Injectors isn't for everybody. And also the going to use my special. I'm going to go ahead and do this on tape, if you will, on video. This is my concoction with the, this one here is grapefruit, and I've got some Proraso beard oil slash, guess you might say now it's going to be a pre-shave oil. And I used just a little bit in my hand. It's about that size, somewhere close to in between a nickel and a quarter. And I just work it into the face real quick. For those that are unfamiliar with pre-shave oil, how you work it in, I usually do this off camera earlier on, so it has a moment or two to, I guess you might say, for my skin to absorb it. But I do work it in, and yes, I do have whiskers way up here on both sides, so I do get those from time to time. Not very many up there, but I do get some way up there. And for me, it kind of doubles as in other words, as a beard oil as I'm working it in. If I got a little bit extra, I can work it right there into my facial hair there, so it's non-issue if I got a little extra. But This particular setup for me works quite well. The post shave is really nice. My face does feel the difference. It is noticeable for me. If you've kind of followed along a little bit for me, the some of these oils, they are different. They come, I guess you might say, different thickness. Some are thicker than others, and this one here, mixing it up like that, just like I did, testing it out, see how it works for me. It works quite well for me. For some folks, maybe not so much. Some folks don't particularly care for the oil because of maybe the residue that it may leave in a shaving brush or any towels or anything that you happen to use right along with your shaving routine. Some believe that that just ruins the brush or creates a lot of extra cleaning. For me, considering how much I rotate my brushes out, in other words, with the brush opportunity to be used with a shaving oil is somewhat limited. So for me, it's more of a non-issue, but for others, it could be. Just want to throw that out there. As it goes, do I notice a difference in my brushes after I get done when I'm cleaning my brush out after using a pre-shave oil? I don't notice it, but it also may depend on how your skin absorbs the pre-shave oil. It just, there's a lot of factors, in other words. Your mileage may vary. This smells wonderful. I had a lot of fun whipping this up. It's not, when I whip this up, it's wet. It's not quite drippy, but it is wet. And that is something that I usually do whip up. I don't really usually whip it up very thick. Every once in a while I might, but not very often. All right, here we go. As it goes for Personna, that blade works well for me. As it goes for Schick blades are fine as long as they're not duds. I've ran into my share of duds with Schicks. That's the reason why I quit buying them. And I also get a better deal with Personna, but I also know that when it comes to Personna blades, not everybody appreciates them. And, it has a lot to do with, what your needs are. But supply, the black labeled, that black labeled blade is one that you got to check out. If you've got a injector that you're looking to wanting to use, but Personna blades wasn't working out well for you, or whatever blade it happens to be, that black label blade probably is what you've been looking for. It's a very nice, smooth blade, very easy to use. I think it'll fit a lot of folks' needs. I know when I first tested it out, it was like, wow, this is now the blade. It is so smooth. I should have been debating because I do like using some other aftershaves, but in other words, getting the matching aftershave for this one here, I've been considering it for quite a while because this scent is definitely one that I like. It is quite nice. That manly scent is just, yeah. You ought to, take a moment, go click on the link and read the description and whatnot. It's well written, in my opinion. Talking about the scent, and I guess you might say me some of the background, the thought behind this soap. How efficient is this razor? I would say it hits, I guess you might say it hits the mark as it goes for being efficient. It's not too terribly mild, but it's not aggressive either. For me, with what I've got facial wise and my hair growth and the direction that it grows, I could get by with a 2-pass shave if I vary the across the green pass. And I might do that today. Yeah, I think I will. As it goes for varying the across the grain pass, especially like on this side of my face. I typically, if I go both directions on this side of the face, and it is amazing how smooth it gets. On this side, I don't have to go both directions. That the way the whiskers grow, the beard growth, I can get by just going one direction. You gotta learn your face, in other words. Right there is probably the toughest spot. After that, it's all downhill on that side of the face. Like I say, on this side, if I go ahead and go both directions, especially up in that part right there, it gets quite smooth when I'm done. And I should mention that spot on my face that was giving me some trouble right over here, where I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. It has seemed to, how can you say, smoothed out, went away. It is not troublesome anymore, so who knows what was going on with it. Maybe I irritated it on a shave and just didn't realize that I did, even though I couldn't really see any redness or anything of the sort. And very smooth right through. It's that, you know, it just depends on your routine and your facial growth and whatnot, but this particular shaver, I can get by with a 2-pass shave. It's just the direction that your beard growth, vary it just a little bit, and I tell you what, my face is really smooth. Very nice shave. And like I say, for me, this blade works well for me. It's not quite as smooth as the Black Label from Supply, but it still works well for me. I got hordes of them, so I'll be using them for a good long moment. I got plenty to go through. Yeah, I keep a good supply of them because I know at one point in time I'm going to stop buying the supply, and I've got enough to last me so long that I may not even go through all of my blades by the time I guess you might say them at the end of my life cycle. I've got a lot of blades because I know at one point I'm going to stop buying them, and I guess you might say just go into my daily routine, pick a soap and an aftershave and rock on with it. I do have some off camera, what I use over here is where I got some shaving cream that I'm working through, and one I should mention that is easy to find in store, that I find that very easy to use. And this one here is the Gillette Pure. This one here, I find this shaving cream usually sells for about $5.99, and it works quite well. It's a pretty decent shaving cream that you can find usually at Walmart. Not always, but usually you can find it at Walmart. Walk in and pick up a tube of it, and I tell you what, it's considering you can walk into a store and find one of that quality, that's pretty nice, because face it, most of the companies like Gillette and whatnot don't necessarily cater to folks like us because we're a smaller niche. But that's a pretty good deal. That's, yeah, quite impressed with that one. Consider you can get it right off the shelf. No stinging this morning. Everything's working out great, as I expected. I've used this shaver a few times, and I get great shaves out of it. As it goes for cleaning it up, I use a cotton swab right after my shave. It takes me maybe 2 minutes or less. That's what the restrictor looks like. It's part of the glass container there. Doesn't take me very long to clean it up. Wipe it off with a cotton swab, and I'm done. So if you keep up with it like that, keep the soap buildup down to a minimum, it'll stay clean for a good long moment. But you do have to, after each shave, take care of it. I really do like this stuff. This is, yeah, it's just being able to walk in a store and find an aftershave, a shaving cream, stuff like this that works well. In my neck of the woods here in Oklahoma, these places are not easy to find, especially even a shaving brush here. Yeah, good luck with that. There's just not very many shaving brushes out there that you can just walk into a store and pick up. So it is nice to pick up a few items in a store without having to order them online if you're just looking to get your daily shave on. I had a great shave this morning. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Everybody's going to be busy tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.